All right, let's jump into another deep dive. This time we're going deep, beyond the surface, into Rick Ross's 2012 album, God Forgives, I Don't.
Woo, good choice.
You know, this record, it's more than just the cars and the champagne. It gets into ambition, power, the price of success.
Definitely. Like Scarface meets, I don't know, Machiavelli, but Southern, with way better music, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. The production is top-notch.
Right away, that title, God Forgives, I Don't, it sets the whole mood right.
It's a statement.
Yeah, it's not just a cool phrase. It's like he's laying down his own rules. He's the judge, the jury, the whole thing.
It's like I'm playing by a different set of rules, and that comes through in how he talks about wealth and success.
Yeah.
Like on Three Kings.
Oh, man, that track. Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, and Ross. What a power move.
Talk about a power trio, right?
And it's strategic, He elevates himself by working with these legends.
For sure.
You've got Dre, the business mind, Jay-Z, focused on legacy.
Right.
And Ross, he's all about the grind, the struggle that got him there.
And the music on that track is epic.
Like a coronation.
Seriously.
That cinematic feel, it's all over this album. Ross uses these lush, layered sounds to create an atmosphere.
Like a movie score.
Exactly. Maybach Music 4 is a great example, super luxurious sounds, but there's this undercurrent of tension, something darker underneath.
Like a party about to get busted by the feds. But even with all that, Ross doesn't shy away from deeper themes.
Nope.
Like on 16. He brings in Andre 3000, who's known for those introspective lyrics.
Genius move. Andre's verse adds a whole philosophical layer to it, questioning fame, questioning success.
It's like he's saying, is it all worth it?
Yeah, like he's peeking behind the curtain.
Even at the top, you're still searching for something, wrestling with what success really means.
Exactly. And that complexity is what makes this album more than just like luxury rap.
Right.
Ross is willing to be vulnerable, to show those cracks beneath the surface.
He's not just about the flash, it's the hustle, the struggle, the responsibility too.
Absolutely. He built an empire, but at what cost? That question runs through the whole album.
And speaking of empires, we've got to talk about Pirates, the opener.
Oh, yeah.
Raw, gritty, like a flashback to his roots. You can almost hear the streets in the music.
Sets the scene perfectly. It's Ross saying, hey, I earned this. I clawed my way up.
Yeah.
That pirate metaphor, it's his ambition. Taking risks, fighting for what he wants.
Giving us a look at how the boss was made. That raw drive. But with power comes a dark side too, right?
For sure. And tracks like Amsterdam, 10 Jesus Pieces, they bring out that paranoia.
Like even with all the success, you can't escape the past.
Right. It's in the lyrics. That tension between wanting more and being afraid to lose it all.
Especially on 10 Jesus Pieces. The title itself is heavy, man.
Yeah.
He's thinking about the weight of all that stuff. Like, does it even make you happy?
There's a vulnerability there. Like maybe all the Jesus pieces in the world don't fill that void.
And that makes his persona even more interesting.
It's more human,
It's like he's saying, I have all this, but is it enough? Was it worth the price I paid?
And that's the core of the album, right? That tension between ambition, success, and wanting something more.
Makes you wonder, is Rick Ross looking for forgiveness? Or is he just going to keep living by his own code?
That's a great question. He's stuck between those two worlds. The ruthless side that got him to the top, and then that question of whether it was all worth it.
And that's what makes God Forgives, I Don't so powerful, so thought-provoking. It's not just about the bling. It's about what ambition costs you as a person.
It makes you look at your own values, what you consider success.
We're just getting started, though.
Yeah.
Stick with us as we go even deeper into Rick Ross and God Forgives, I Don't.
This is going to be good. It's really interesting how Ross plays with those opposite ideas throughout the album.
Yeah, like he's kind of battling with himself.
Right, exactly. And the people he brings in, the features, they really bring out that tension.
Oh, how so?
Well, think about 16 with Andre 3000 getting all deep and introspective.
Right.
Then you've got Diced Pineapples with Drake and Whale.
Oh, yeah, totally different vibe.
It's smoother, more sensual.
Celebrating the good life.
Exactly. But even then, there's that edge, like it might not last.
Like, enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to that whole mafia boss thing Ross has going on.
Right.
Always that sense of danger, like everything could disappear.
Makes those vulnerable moments hit even harder.
Definitely.
Like when he talks about what all the wealth costs him in 10 Jesus Pieces.
That track, man, it's raw.
Oh, honest.
Peeling back that boss image, you see the real person underneath.
A guy fighting his own demons.
And that makes him relatable, even if we're not living his life.
Yeah, we've all felt that pressure to succeed.
That fear of messing up.
Totally.
And we've all made choices we might regret later.
God forgives, I don't. Makes you face those choices, think about why you do things.
Not exactly a feel-good record, but it's powerful.
Stays with you, makes you think.
That's Ross's artistry, you know?
Capcom.
He's made something personal, but it speaks to everyone.
He captured that moment, that feeling of ambition and uncertainty.
Using these stories, the production, the features, it all comes together.
It's an album that demands your attention,
It does. You want to listen closely, figure it out, talk about it?
And that's what we're doing here, right?
Absolutely. Not just skimming the surface.
Going deep, trying to understand what it all means.
What makes this album tick?
What it tells us about Ross, about hip-hop, about ourselves even.
So let's keep going.
Let's see what else we can find.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, so after spending all this time with God Forgives, I got to ask, does Ross actually find redemption? Like, by the end, is he free from that whole cycle of ambition and the consequences?
It's the big question, right? And the album, it leaves it open. Like, on the one hand, you have 10 Jesus pieces where he's clearly struggling with the choices he's made.
Yeah, like he's not sure it was worth it.
There's vulnerability there. Like, maybe he wants more than just all the material stuff.
But then there's Amsterdam.
Right.
He almost seems to like the danger, the power.
It's like he's hooked on it. And that's what makes the album so interesting. It's not a simple story about good and bad.
It's not real.
It's about the messiness of being human.
It's like he's showing us both sides, the ruthless boss and the guy who's looking inward.
Exactly.
And we get to decide which side wins in the end.
And I think that's how it is for all of us. We all have these competing desires, you know?
That struggle between what you want and what's right.
Yeah, exactly. Can you even be successful without losing something along the way?
That's a tough one.
God forgives. Doesn't give us an easy answer. It makes us really confront that question, though.
It's an album that makes you think, even after the music's over.
You keep coming back to it.
Those themes, those lyrics, you start to see them in your own life.
And I think that's what makes art great, you know? It's not just entertainment. It makes you think. It challenges how you see the world.
We started this deep dive saying, God Forgives, I Don't, is more than just an album about the flashy stuff. It's a whole story, a journey into what ambition really means, what power costs.
Mm-hmm. It reminds us that even people with everything, the money, the fame, they still struggle with those big questions, meaning purpose, forgiveness. It's all still there.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with this. What does success mean to you? And what would you do to get it?
It's worth thinking about. And hopefully exploring Rick Ross's world with us has given you some new ideas to consider.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time when we take a deep dive into another fascinating topic.